I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I am Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Bree to like musical theater. How are you doing today, guys?
It's you know how it is when you like get kicked out of your band and like all the credits stolen from you, and
people are gonna start connecting dots considering this is Bree's last episode too.
Oh my God. Well, I was gonna say like it's just really tough being the star and being
oh yeah,
so
you would
famous.
say that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it really.
Now that I'm have to be gone and you're the star.
I want to
really
fuck
great.
Eddie Murphy. And that's the three characters in Dreamgirls. Cue the music, Bree.
We are Dreamgirls, boys will make you happy. Yeah, we are Dreamgirls, boys will always care. We are Dreamgirls, Dreamgirls will never leave you. No, no, and all you've got to do is dream, baby. We'll be there. Yeah. Dream. Dreamgirls will help you through the night. Dream.
Dreamgirls is a musical written by Henry Krieger and music and lyrics by Ton Ian, based on the show business aspirations and success of R&B acts such as The Supremes, The Shirelles, James Brown, Jackie Wilson, and others. Dreamgirls premiered on Broadway at the Imperial Theater on December 20th, 1981, and closed on August 11th, 1985, after 1,521 performances. The production was directed by Michael Bennett, who you may remember from our Chorus Line episode of Being Kinda Shitty. The film adaptation of Dreamgirls stars Jamie Foxx as Curtis, Beyonce as Dina, Eddie Murphy as Jimmy, Danny Glover as Marty, and Jennifer Hudson as Effie. It was exhibited in special 10-day roadshow engagements beginning on December 25th, 2006. Subsequently, the film went into national release on December 25th, 2006 as well. The plot of Dreamgirls is a trio of black female soul singers cross over to the pop charts in the early 1960s, facing their own personal struggles along the way. So, after all that, we're doing this today because this is Bree's last episode with Musicals with Cheese. Bree, explain the context and I'll say why, then explain why we're talking about this show for your last episode.
Oh, explain like why I'm leaving.
In whatever words you want to say.
Okay.
You could say that we bullied you out of the group, much
They
like
did.
Effie.
They bullied me. No,
It was mostly me. I was very harsh.
Andrew has never said any actual words to me, and so I felt very sad that I must go. No,
And Andrew is the Beyonce of this group.
It's true.
Ultimately, just doing other things in life and focusing on Bree this year in 2023. So I am so grateful to have been here for the last, 2.5 years, 2.5 years. And I'm very, very sad to go. But I can't wait to see where Musical Cheese goes. And I'm going to cry.
Don't cry, because we got to talk about Dreamgirls. So when I said, Bree, what do you want your last episode to be? You said something that we already did, and then you changed it to Dreamgirls.
What did I say? Did I say
You
Shrek
said-
the musical?
You did say Shrek the Musical.
It seemed fun, okay?
It is fun. But why Dreamgirls?
I've never seen this on Broadway but I remember seeing this movie. I was probably about 11 or 12 at the time, and it had just immediately became one of my favorites. It introduced me to R&B, and I think from there I kind of just spiraled from hearing the Supremes and the Shirleys and James Brown to Aretha Franklin, and just so many more artists. And I think that is when I fell in love with music. So that is why we're talking about Dreamgirls.
Mm-hmm. And to call back to one of our most famous adventures, our Tony Awards, I think it was 2021, where they had Jennifer Holliday back out and she sang, "And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going." And you were very emotional during that. Not quite end of Mamma Mia 2 emotional, but you got pretty into it.
It's an amazing song, and the power you have to put into that song, like not everyone can do it. And I just, one of my favorites.
Now, Andrew, what do you have any history with Dreamgirls or the Motown scene in general?
I learned about the Motown scene in school. That's about it, though.
Okay. And Dreamgirls, you never watched the movie, you never saw it. Is this just another musical on the docket?
It's just another one, although I did like this one quite a bit. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Now, for context, Andrew and I watched both the stage show and the movie because I feel like both are fair shot. I was very impressed by the movie. Both.
The movie is really good, surprisingly.
Like, it's unafraid to be a musical, which is, I always thought it was just like, you know, a musical in the same way that everything's diegetic and sung in the world, and it's not.
It's actually pretty accurate to the stage show. In all reality, like quite accurate. I'm trying to think of how many like real differences there are, and there's not that many.
It's and the movie has stars, and the stars can sing. They can sing, and you're not feeling cheated out of the original performance in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, and because they get actual singers to perform. And even when it's not a singer performing, it's like an actor, they still do a really good job.
I mean, even the actors are singers. Like, Eddie Murphy
Also,
partied all the time.
Yeah, this convinced me that Eddie Murphy actually can sing.
And act.
I didn't believe that before I watched the movie, and now I do believe that.
So Eddie Murphy with this movie and with his follow-up started a trend in Hollywood where an actor would win or be nominated for an acting role. Here he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, a comedian getting nominated for a role in a film. What? And he followed it up with Norbit.
I always hear about Norbit. I don't know what it's about, but I know it's like ruined his career almost.
It destroyed his career for a good decade.
What is Norbit about? Like, what's the deal?
Eddie Murphy's a nerdy guy that falls in love with Eddie Murphy in a fat lady suit, and he's trapped with his wife that he hates, but it's also Eddie Murphy. Also, there's a Chinese man next door. Guess what's played by Eddie Murphy?
This is Jack and Jill.
It was, but before Jack and Jill, and weirdly incestuous because they're married and not just siblings.
Yeah. All right. Now I know what Norbit is.
Don't watch it, kids. Your life is better without seeing it. Brie, are you looking at?
Yes, it has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Eddie Murphy, I don't see Eddie Murphy that often, and I don't know if there's like a good or a bad reason for that, but it was cool that he was in this.
And he's not bad at it. He's not just pulling like the Haunted Mansion faces and all that.
No, he's actually really good. I think he does a great job.
Yeah, I would agree.
So should we talk about the stage show first?
Yes, probably a good idea. How would you describe that? The biggest change from the stage show to the movie, really, that I saw is the stage show they start in Chicago, not in Detroit. And I don't understand why they did that.
I think, well, so this is very clearly based on the Supremes.
Diana Ross specifically, yeah.
Yeah, so they probably changed some details like that to make it more different from reality.
Probably.
But I mean, yeah, in reality, the whole Motown scene and everything started in Detroit. So, at least as far as I'm aware.
Yes.
So yeah, so Detroit is more accurate, and they changed that back in the movie,
which I'm grateful for. Not much is lost. Like, I can't even think of very specific examples between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the plot in the second half is structured slightly different. Namely, I think the stuff with James Early.
Yeah, because he dies in the movie and he does not. He just leaves the musical in the stage show.
Yeah, I guess if you've already seen the movie, maybe you would interpret him leaving in the stage show as, oh, maybe he does die.
Yeah, but they don't have a moment for it.
They don't have a moment. And honestly, that's like an example of the film, I think, being better. I think the film improves on that.
Yeah.
It raises the stakes a little bit. Maybe not the stakes, but the consequences.
Yeah. It becomes a cautionary tale instead of look at that funny character leave.
But I still think the stage show is very good.
Yeah. But I think the stage show and the movie, to a certain, relies on its cast and the gravitas and the star power they bring. Like, I don't know if I'd see a local production of Dreamgirls, but I would go and jump on a tour or a Broadway show.
It's a show about a real life band that was actually famous.
Kind of.
Kind of. And I feel like it only really works when you have people that are really charismatic in those roles.
But
like
even
you
like
want to
iconic
see
ones like Beyonce, I think Beyonce is perfect in the movie because of the gravitas she brings with her name alone.
Yeah.
This
So
was before Beyonce was like Beyonce. This was
Yeah.
before Halo too. So I think even like looking back at it, like she was still very big as
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
I mean she's the biggest one in here. Like the poster for the movie fucks with me a lot because it has the 3 butts of the Dreamgirls in shadow, and then it has
course.
Jamie Foxx, Beyonce Knowles, and Eddie Murphy, and that makes my brain think that they are the 3 Dreamgirls.
those are the 3 dream girls, Eddie Murphy and Jamie Foxx.
And like Bree, pull up that poster and tell me that isn't what your brain's telling you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, and this was right after Jennifer Hudson she was on American Idol. Did
Yeah.
she win American
I don't
Idol?
know
Can't remember, but this was right after her.
her big rise.
Yeah.
Is she in Cats?
Yes, she is. She was Grisabella in the Cats 2019.
And she recently did Respect, the Aretha Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
This probably was better than Cats.
I would hope so.
You would hope, but sometimes not so much. And then
Yeah,
I
that is
feel
very funny. The Jamie Foxx, Beyonce Knowles. Yeah.
like it just confuses my brain every time I look at that poster. And even when I was a kid, when this movie came out, I was like, "That's a confusing poster." Makes me think that they're the Dreamgirls. But Andrew, what were you saying about the gravitas of the cast members and how important that was?
Oh, I think that you focus on such a small group of characters that they have to be charismatic to make it work.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really it. This isn't a character study or anything like that.
Oh.
This is most of the songs are them performing, or it's partially them performing and partially them not performing, but it's all the same song. So like you need someone who has that soul, to quote from the show.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be able to really perform, and that's what R&B, a lot of it is about. It's about like really bearing it all as a vocalist. So
Mm-hmm. And they do that, especially Jennifer Hudson, like incredible. I don't know if this is worth noting, but I think this is like one of the most the best mixed like musical I've ever seen, where I can't tell when it's live and when it's dubbed. And if there is points where they're dubbed or when they're live, it just feels in the moment and in the scene in a way that especially in 2006, it feels so foreign to me now. And going into this, it's like, holy crap. But as for the stage show has no set in a weird way.
it has these like panels
Yeah.
that it uses, and it's interesting. They actually have a really cool effect that they use a lot, where they'll be performing for you, and then when you want to see somebody backstage, they take that performance, they go behind these panels, and they're performing to the side, like they're like performing to the side of the stage, and then the characters that are backstage come out front. It's a really cool way to show that like, oh, this is happening off the stage, and these guys are performing on the stage, and like you can go between those two without even needing to like switch sets or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I loved how every bootleg of this musical, the audience is into it. I feel like that's almost a part of like the experience of Dreamgirls is the audience engagement.
Now these are all original songs, right? This
Yes.
is not a jukebox?
No, not a jukebox in any way. All original.
Okay, I didn't think it was, but I just wasn't, because they nail the style so well that I wasn't sure. And it feels like they have different styles, and they kind of progress as the music progressed as well. Because at the very beginning, you're listening to like this like shoo-wop type like music, and then it gets towards the end and they start doing like disco.
Yeah. There are original songs for the movie that were written specifically mostly for Beyonce. But that's the main. So let's talk about the songwriters. Specifically, we have music by Henry Krieger, lyric and book by Tom Ian, two white men writing a very, very R&B funky musical know, especially for the time when this came out, which was, the 80s. That was the time. It probably would have been a little bit more interesting if we had a person of color, write this book and lyrics and all that. That might have been a little bit of an interesting take, because even the movie is directed by Bill Condon, the guy that fucking directed the Beauty and the Beast remake and Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, classic stories, and this might be his one good movie. So what are your thoughts on
interesting
writing about
that-
another culture in this way?
I feel like they did a really good job is the thing. So it's like, it's obvious that they cared
Yes.
about this, and it wasn't just like a cynical, like, this is what I think R&B sounds like, like that kind of thing. But, it does get a little bit to it where it's like, this is a genre that was created by Black people, essentially, and these are white people writing all of this, and it's sort of in the vein of stuff that they even criticize in the show, like white people appropriating this music. But it's not quite the same, because when like Elvis did it, he would literally just take the song and just reperform it and get more popular than the original singer did. Whereas this is at least fully original songs that were all written in the style. And I think I'm of the opinion that if you're writing your own music, you can do what you want,
And there's also the side of it where it would probably not have made it to Broadway without the names behind it. Specifically, Michael Bennett, who's fresh off of the big, massive hit of A Chorus Line, stepping in to helm this project as director with these two composers. It sprungboard a lot of Black performers into the limelight that wouldn't have had that chance before.
Yeah, and it's not as though they cast like all white people for this show or something ridiculous like that. In fact, there's almost no white people in the cast.
Thank God for that.
They have a couple, but usually when they show up, it's to make a joke about how white people don't get R&B.
Which, you know what? If it got that right, at least it's not like La La Land, where we have, what's his name, Ryan Gosling, trying to convince us he's the king of jazz.
Well, the jazz is a white people thing now, I feel like, at least modern jazz.
Keep them away from R&B.
I'm saying that in a bad thing. I'm saying that in a bad way. Geez, white people get a hold of a genre and they just cling on to like stuff that happened like 40 years ago, and they never let it go.
Oh yeah, that's true in almost everything, not just in music and like political beliefs. They'll just grip onto things that
move on, fellas. Come on, play something hot.
Play some Jimmy Early music.
Oh, Jimmy Early is great in this.
He's like a character every story needs. A comic, a clown, basically, a tragic clown, basically.
It's a sad clown, yeah. You love the sad clowns.
Yeah, we always love a sad clown, and is it better or worse than Sad Dad in your book, Andrew?
Sad Dad is it's like a different thing almost. Sad clown is like tragic, like really tragic, whereas Sad Dad is just sad.
It's sad because Dad's dead, usually.
Yeah. I like the sad clown thing though. And I like how at the beginning Jimmy's music is like, you can feel that he really cares about what he's doing. And then by the middle of it, he's playing like this boring stuff that he's trying to appeal to white people with.
Yep.
And at the end, his music is just kind of sad. And then like, he's like trying to get back on top and it's like not working.
I mean, Jimmy Early is like the most clear arc in the story. Like Curtis, not really an arc. Maybe Effie a little bit, but she was a finished product from start A, and just shit happens to her. Like I don't think she needs to change, which is kind of her entire narrative. So really, if we're going with anyone that has any change, it's Jimmy Early.
Jimmy has an arc. It's just it's a bad arc. He destroys. He doesn't even necessarily destroy himself. He doesn't help, but the world destroys him as well. Like it's just everything bad happens.
So the girls. Bree, I want you to talk about our three ladies, because me and Andrew are here like focusing on the scenery and the general ideas, but the ladies though.
Okay, so you have Effie, who is played by Jennifer Hudson, and she is a star, right? She has the voice, she has the charisma, like she is a star. But you're in the movie, they want softer. They want a softer voice, a softer look, to appeal to white people, I guess. Yeah. And so that's where Beyonce's character comes in. She's a soft voice, we all know Beyonce has a very strong voice, but in the movie she plays with she uses this very soft voice. She was backup for Effie at the start of their career. And then as the girls are working to become famous and they're about to get their own solo gig, Dina, who is played by Beyonce, takes the center role, the leading role. And this doesn't necessarily work for Effie because Effie's the star, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Laurel. And she's okay being the backup singer. I think she's very content in her role. And she's there throughout the entire film. Gosh, what else?
She likes Jimmy Early, doesn't she?
And she loves Jimmy
Who
Early.
doesn't love Jimmy Early though?
Yeah, and a lot of her story, is between her
And then
Jimmy.
there's the fourth one, and no one cares.
It's like the extra stooge of the Three Stooges that comes in every now and then. No one remembers their name, but they're still there.
Yeah, she is, and then Effie is replaced. Right, so Effie is replaced by this fourth dream girl, because she
And the skipper.
Yeah, she is. I don't know. Do I?
Does she have a personality?
No one cares. No
Yeah.
one cares.
I also
She
don't.
sings. She just fills in the songs that
Yes.
are played in the second half. There's another character that I feel like we somehow haven't mentioned that much, but I think he's the most important character in the whole thing. Arguably the main character. I don't know. I don't remember his
Curtis?
name though.
Marty.
Is it Curtis?
Yeah, the Jamie Foxx
No,
character.
Yeah, that's Curtis, right?
Yeah, that's Curtis.
Yes.
I feel like it's called Dreamgirls, but Curtis is like the actual driver of everything.
It's like,
You know?
it's called Elvis, but it's really about Tom Hanks asking, he's what?
He's what? No, but like Curtis is the one who makes the decisions, the one who is too prideful to admit when he's wrong about things, and he's the one who destroys everyone around him,
Mhm.
essentially. And I would say that he's kind of the lead of the show in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, I split it between him and Effie, honestly.
Effie kind of goes away for a little bit though.
I guess, but she's still
Whereas
very much a
Curtis is there the whole time.
Yeah. I feel like Jennifer Hudson, Effie, is like, I consider her the main character for like the first half. And then I feel like Beyonce kind of takes over like the leading lady role. But yeah, Jamie Curtis is there the entire time.
Yeah, so
I hate him. I don't like him. He's not a pleasant
he's bad.
individual.
I don't think
Yeah,
you're necessarily supposed to love his character.
He's interesting in that at the beginning you sort of think, well, oh shoot, he's giving them this break and he's putting it all on the line to make them happen. But then very quickly after that, it becomes just about him and like what he thinks can sell. It's his idea to cut Effie out.
Mm-hmm.
It's his idea to like change the music to make it appeal to white people. It's his idea to go disco, which hurts the songwriters. Like, this isn't what it's supposed to feel like, you know.
Putting Dina in
and-
movies.
Oh yeah, Cleopatra
Yeah, putting
and all
Dina
that.
in the movies, and it's him that destroys everyone. You know, he
Don't
sort of
forget
creates
impregnating
them.
Effie.
Yeah, well, yeah, he creates them and he destroys them at the same time.
So it is like God, like the real God.
And I think the reason that the story, in my opinion, works better in the movie than it does on stage, even though they're very similar,
Yeah.
is because of the inclusion of Jimmy's death.
Okay, elaborate.
Without that, it doesn't really become clear how bad what Curtis did is, essentially, because he is the reason. They include other scenes as well that lead up to it that I don't think are in the stage show.
Yeah.
But like Jimmy is trying to come back and he produces this song that is very good and would probably be a hit, and Curtis is just like, no. And then after that, Curtis fires him, and then Jimmy dies of an overdose. And there's these other characters who essentially just blame Curtis for it, and that's kind of like the turning point of it all, where
the
it
villain
all
moment
starts
for Curtis.
crumbling.
I think you're
Yeah,
right.
and he doesn't really have that moment in the stage show. It's more subtle, which is fine, and I think
How rare
they
is it
both
for
have
the stage
merit.
show to be subtle?
They both have merit, but I like the more direct approach that the movie takes.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that Curtis is also much more black and white in the movie, though. Strangely enough, I feel like from moment one, you kind of know he's a sleazebag, where in the stage show, he comes more of across like a lovable scamp
Yeah.
for like a good majority of this, where from the moment you kind of see Jamie Foxx, he's low lit, he's shot from low angles, he looks a little domineering. And maybe it's just because I've seen Dewey Cox too many times, but that like I just saw like evil record producer.
And they open it with there's this like old school guy who is like the actual manager that
Yeah.
Jimmy has at the beginning, and it at certain points it seems like he doesn't recognize Jimmy's real potential and Curtis does, but in all reality it's because this other guy Marty actually cares about Jimmy and all that. And you find that out later, obviously, because when he goes with Curtis, Jimmy gets destroyed. But the movie opens with them and Marty like dismissing Curtis in a way, only for them to be forced together by sleazier means.
The movie just does a lot of clever storytelling, which is weird from the director of Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Sometimes you just get it right. I don't know. When you get it right, you get it right. And I guess that he got it right this time.
I do want to say the theatrical elements here like feels wholly original. It feels like it takes slight inspiration from the Rob Marshall's Chicago, but sometimes like theater lights will just come and turn on during a moment without explanation. They don't really feel the need to make it super realistic and take place super in the real world, but it never feels fake. It never feels emotionally bankrupt in the way that Matilda the musical did. Shoot on real sets, maybe that's it.
Yeah, actually, that might be it.
Because a lot of just real sets and theatrical ideas. This does all the theatrical ideas I wanted in Matilda, like really well. Where it's just like, no, we're just gonna sing a little bit of a song, and we're gonna be confident that that'll be enough for you.
Well, I think we've gone on
A little
quite
too
a bit here.
Let's go into wild facts real quick. Wild facts. Rawr. Beyonce outright stated that Dina Jones was her dream role, and in a mix of heartwarming, crazy, prepared, brought her own dress and wig to the studio when she auditioned.
Love that.
Okay. It's funny too because
it's Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's Beyonce, but she's not even really portrayed in like a good light.
No.
Like Dina Jones is kind of you don't really like her in the second half because you feel like she took what Effie
But she's barely
deserved.
a presence in the first half, though.
I know,
Yeah.
it's weird.
All she does
it's
is
so
like
weird.
turn our wigs around.
She goes from like this backup role where like you don't really notice her that much to like, oh man, like I don't like her.
Wild facts. Jennifer Hudson had to put on 20 pounds of weight to play this role, to be the more plus-size visage they were looking for.
See, another thing that this gets right that Matilda doesn't.
She doesn't even look that big as a thing. They keep like harping about her
No.
weight, and she looks fine.
No, she looks fine. She definitely is larger than the other girls are. Though.
Yeah.
They're like twigs.
And it is weird that the Dreamgirls poster has three twig ladies, no sign of Jennifer Hudson on there, the Oscar-winning, the only one to win an Oscar for this film, if I remember correctly.
Well, yes, but I mean, to go with what's in the movie, I mean, they are the Dreamgirls, the three skinny ladies.
Oh yeah, they're the ones that dream of the dream. As I said before, after the rap scene, Jimmy Early just leaves the show and just kind of disappears. In the movie, he dies. Bill Condon instructed Jennifer Hudson to show up late on the set every day to better understand Effie's diva behavior.
Method acting.
I think method acting is stupid.
Yeah. I think method acting, it beats the purpose of acting, right? If you're a good actor, you don't need to actually do the thing to do the thing, right? You pretend to do it.
Yeah.
You act like you're doing it.
It's about being in the mindset.
No, it's bullshit. If you have to do
It
that,
is.
Yeah, I don't know. I can pretend to be an asshole without living it every day.
Right.
he chooses to do that.
I choose to do that.
The character of Effie was originally intended to die at the end of Act 1. However, when Jennifer Holliday, who was playing the role, quit the project because she was upset the character died, Tom Ian and composer Henry Krieger rewrote the story.
Thank goodness. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like that it would be much worse if she wasn't in the Act 2.
What would that Act 2 be about? There's no change.
I guess
Right.
it would just be about the same thing, but with none of the Effie stuff. I guess
it'd be boring. The Effie stuff is some of the most interesting stuff in the second half of the story.
Yeah, and I really like the. I mean, how would you even do that story beat where she does the song and then the Dreamgirls cover it, and like that's like a huge thing? Like, I
It
don't
would
know.
probably just be about the songwriter being like, "Oh, I'm gonna write new songs," and then the Dreamgirls cover it. It would probably just be all about the songwriter guy.
Oh yeah. Which who cares about the songwriter guy? Come on.
Yeah,
That guy's barely a character.
the actor in the movie played Bill Cosby in the Fat Albert movie. Google that one, kids.
Good.
That is not a negative or a positive, just a weird fact that I happen to know.
Imagine having that on your list of regrets.
Spike Lee considered directing the film in the early 90s with Jasmine Guy as Dina Jones. That would have been interesting. Also, Whitney
Yeah.
I
Houston.
feel like that could have worked.
Whitney Houston and Aaliyah were both considered during the movie's production before it went into development hell. That could have worked. Is Aaliyah the one that passed away on the airplane?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. Sorry about that. Jennifer Holliday, who originated the role of Effie on stage, expressed her disappointment at not being involved in the film in several TV and radio and print interviews. Holliday, in particular, objected to the fact that her 1982 recording of And I'm Telling You, I'm Not Going was used in early Dreamgirls teaser trailers created before production began. Many of her other original Dreamgirls Broadway cast members, among them Oba Babatunde, Vodi Curtis Hall, and Clavant Derricks, were interviewed for a Jet magazine article, which they discussed their varying opinions on both Dreamgirls film and script and production. So I get that. I'd be a little peeved if that was used for your marketing and then not invited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I feel like it should be like customary to at least invite for a cameo at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm glad that Jennifer Holliday got to come on to the Tonys last year or 2 years ago and be able to perform. That was a really important moment, but she should have been in this movie. There's tons of roles you could put into this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
On that note, how about we compare our opinions to those of the crazy folks on Letterboxd.com? It's time for previews!
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
And Andrew and Bree, this is your last previews. This is your last Letterboxd game.
I know.
You better win.
I better win. Andrew, let me win.
Don't let her win, Andrew.
I will try my very best to let you win.
All right. This game is where I will read a random Letterboxd review, and Andrew and Bree will have to guess whether the review is a 1-star review or a 5-star review based on only the information provided. All right. Andrew, you're going first.
All right.
Guys, she's literally pregnant.
Okay. 5 stars.
That is correct. I think that's in referring to like the reason why Effie was getting bigger is because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They kept fat shaming her.
Yeah, he's like, you just like keep putting on weight. Literally pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a monster, Curtis. All right, Bree.
Mm-hmm.
The only constant in life is suffering.
5 stars.
That's a 1-star.
Oh, I mean, that is a true statement.
All right, Andrew.
Mhm.
John Krasinski's in this.
Who? Who did they say?
John Krasinski, Fantastic Four man from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Is he in this?
Yeah, he's like the producer.
He is.
With John Lithgow,
Who is he?
he's like, "Oh, we want to make your film, Beyonce."
He's got one line.
Oh, okay. I for a second I thought he was the Cadillac car. Cadillac car.
Got me a Cadillac car.
God, that they did that so well. It's so
I
bad.
know. It's so good.
Okay. 5 stars. We all love John Krasinski.
That is correct. All right, Bree. Effie, we all got pain. Personally, that would have been my last straw.
Ooh, 1 star?
That is a 5-star. Bree, you are not
Okay,
doing
I'm
great.
just bombing this.
All right, Andrew, your turn.
All right.
Fuck Curtis. All my homies hate Curtis.
That's true. We're going to go with 5 stars on that because it is true.
That is a 1-star. You are wrong, Andrew.
Ooh, okay. I would have given it 5.
I know you would have. All right, Bree.
Yes.
Via Amazon Prime.
5 stars
What?
for Amazon Prime?
No, that was a 1-star.
Okay, it's just comical at this point. I am going to try to lose as hard as I can.
Okay. Andrew, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
I like the way you sing, girl.
5 stars.
That is a 1-star. All right, Bree.
Fuck.
Okay.
Bootleg Jackson 5 and 3 angry images.
1 star?
That was a 5-star. And Bree, you successfully failed this as hard as you could have because that was my last one.
Now 1 right for my favorite musical of all time.
Didn't get a single one.
Not a single one. How about
You know
I give you a
There was
super
too
special?
much. There was too much passion, is what it is. Actually,
Yeah.
you like the musical too much to really get in the heads of these people.
You're right.
How about I give you a very super special going away review? This was I'm gonna try this really quickly.
Okay.
Where I'm gonna read you a review of Musicals with Cheese on Apple iTunes. I'm picking randomly. You have to tell me
Okay.
whether it's a 1-star or a 5-star.
Okay.
All right. Bruh is the title. Little Drummer Dope Boy 2 is my favorite Christmas special. Pouty face.
Bruh.
Bruh.
5 stars.
That is correct. All right.
Yay.
I'm going to give you 2 more.
Okay.
Just What I Never Wanted is the title. 2 straight dudes talking about musicals. Jesse mispronounces most things and sings flatly on every episode. Andrew doesn't pay attention to what he's supposed to be watching and listening to and ends up basically saying, I don't remember that part, or it was okay. Bro, take some notes. You bring the whole
is an
show
old one.
down. He literally adds nothing to the conversation. There's no depth, no nuance, and I get very concerned when Jesse makes himself laugh so hard he has a goddamn asthma attack. Update. I've listened to more recent episodes. Ever since Bree joined, it has been considerably better.
5 stars.
Yes!
Love it. Sorry to whoever wrote that.
Wait, did they change it to 5 stars?
Yes!
They
But it
wrote
kept
that
the
review
original
and they
review.
changed it to 5 stars.
Yes!
Damn, they just hate me.
All right, last one, Bree.
Okay.
Title. Do a little research, all right? If you're going to spend the time reviewing and critiquing a musical, do your research first and know more about the show. It's embarrassing to hear you attempt to talk about Ragtime when you don't even know some of the talking points and general information about the show. Shallow discussion and incompetent analysis.
I feel like our Ragtime episode wasn't even shallow. I don't know.
You had
1
some big
star.
opinions. That is correct. And Bree, final tiebreaker just to bring you up to even with Andrew. Are you ready? Because you're
Yes.
3 for 3. Yeah, no. 2 guys pretending they know anything about musicals and making condescending remarks about almost every aspect of every show. Not sure why they do this, since they seem to, in quotation marks, hate almost every show. Best of all, they barely know any facts about the shows they, parentheses, review. Total amateur hour. And the editing is horrible. Segments replay, awkward dead space, move on to something else. Can't believe the Broadway Podcast Network picked up this tragic podcast. If y'all want to redeem yourselves, I challenge you to bring someone onto your episodes who can contradict what you say.
Ooh, 1 star.
That is 2 stars.
Oh, close enough.
And that's it.
I just want to let everybody know that Jesse loves musical theater, and he knows a lot about it.
No, I don't. Brie, I do want to say that was like right before you joined us. Like that
Aw.
review was like a few weeks before you joined the show.
So you were leaving all the dead space?
I'm not saying I was good at it, but there was a reason. There was a reason why I didn't do it anymore, you know?
Yeah, well,
Sometimes I get tired of hearing my own voice and say, it's good enough.
it's fine.
I'm sure it's all right. On that note, it's time for us to go into a mid-show announcement and talk about our wonderful products over at Patreon. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but wait, no, Bree, you do it.
Oh no!
You gotta do it. Do
Hey
your best,
guys, what's up? Sorry to interrupt you in the middle of this show, but we have to shill at you.
Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon, where we're having a lot of changes. We're changing a lot with this show, not just with Bree leaving, but it is marking the time that it's happening. Our Patreon is getting totally revamped with brand new tiers and a lot of fun things. So you're going to want to check that out because it's going to be really cool. But who is currently supporting us over at Patreon, Andrew?
Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman. Oh, I'm gonna start over. I just had a brain fuck.
Can I tell a funny story about Melissa Goldman before you go on?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we do that?
Melissa Goldman is our longest patron, our first patron, and has stuck around since like the day when we opened our Patreon.
Oh my god.
So
He's giving us
they're
probably like $400,000 at this point.
they're not like a high tier, but they're very, very loyal. I have been very grateful for that. That being said, they are currently asking for donations to their classroom because they just started teaching. When they started, they were a student, and now they're a full-blown teacher. So if you have some time, check out that Amazon wish list and help a teacher find their way. Just follow Melissa Goldman on Twitter. And that being said, I tried to buy some stuff on that thing, but it just delivered to my house. So whoops-a-doodle, I fucked up.
Your children are being influenced by someone who listens to us on a regular basis. Think of that.
They're not even our only teacher, Andrew. We have 3 teachers on our Patreon.
Oh, God.
We are influencing the youth.
We influence the youth. Yippee. This is a good thing. All right.
2 poops.
Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Danielle Renix, Jess Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maniri, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Kyle Summers, Janae C., Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Liz Lim, Allison Stuller, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, Desbian, Ren Cullen, Rafael Martinez Salaz, Jessica T., Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Chris Marcotte, Mimu, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Leela, RJ Noriga, Charlie B., Bjorn Hermans, Erica S., Toriana Frazier, Sammy the Most Lopez, Leanna Morton, Haley Blazier, Birdman69, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Sophina Ali, The Omega Geek, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Eliza Erdman, Anna Loskatova, Cheska Veray, Sarah Den Blaker, Evan Ball, Zachary Torres, Gathering Party Before Venturing Forth, Rora Marasso, and Mara Forloin.
Just keep making those names harder. These folks give us a little extra financial support that helps us out here at Musicals with Cheese. We're going to want to be doing some big updates soon, so you're going to love what we do. So come help us out over there. All right, let's get back to the show. Move on out of my way.
Move it.
This entire album is incredible. I think I actually prefer the Broadway cast album to the movie soundtrack, but every song is kind of a bop. Even the kind of they're not created equal, but they're all good.
Yeah, I really like how they open this.
Okay. What do you mean?
It's like a talent show, and it's a bunch of different acts that are all only doing one song. And you just get a lot of different people up singing in a very short amount of time, and I really like how that is.
And there's story going on in the meantime.
There's
it's
story
all coming together.
You get great names like Tiny Joe Dixon, who I'm assuming all his friends call him Tiny Dick.
I don't know. What do you think? Oh, survey says yes.
But I think it's very cool how they do that, and they set up immediately all the characters and how their actual positions, that the Dreamettes at this point, or the Dreamgirls or whatever they call themselves, aren't pros. They don't know what the heck they're doing,
but they're good. They have energy, but they're not on that level yet.
And that Curtis is willing to cheat and bribe people to get what he wants. It's good. It's really good.
An efficient opening, one of the most efficient openings, and without having an I Want song saying I wanna be on stage.
It's somehow very efficient in storytelling, and they literally don't even sing a single plot relevant song. It's
so good.
Yeah, it's very interesting how they do it, but it's great. I really enjoy that.
Brie, what do you think of the opening?
I have to agree. It's very efficient in what it does. You get a sense of who all these characters are right away. And honestly, the first 4 or 5 songs are absolutely fantastic. They're one right after another, but they'll keep me singing the whole time.
100%. And visually, the way that the movie has this kinetic energy in this scene, it's what good cinema should be. Let's talk about Cadillac Car, which is the second Jimmy Early song, but the big one. It shows Curtis's big idea of people want to listen to music in their automobiles.
Yeah.
Because Detroit, but not Detroit.
It's fun. It's a fun song. It's a little bit it feels like they're almost selling out in a way, because it's the Cadillac Car song, but you can tell that they still have passion at this point. And it's also great because we get it in 2 different styles, because they have it come back, and they have the worst version of the song you could ever imagine that gets more popular because racism exists.
I love the name of the band as credited in the score as Dave and the Sweethearts to the white people version. Dave.
Sure.
Oh my God, I love Dave and the Sweethearts.
It's really incredible though, like how they
I'll
do
play
that.
comparison.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's you listen to this one and it's like, oh dang, they're jamming here.
I got me a Cadillac. I got me a Cadillac car. Got me a Cadillac. Look at me, mister, I'm a star. I'm on the move. I'm getting on. I'm breaking out. And it won't take long behind the wheel. Got a song, pedals down, and I'm gone. Yeah.
And then Dave and the Sweethearts come out and you're like, oh my God.
Got me a Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac. Got me a Cadillac car. Oh, I've got me a Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac. Look at me, mister, I'm a star. Look at me, mister, I'm a star.
It just shows that white people have no culture. They steal other cultures and make it worse.
I mean, that is a culture, is it not?
I
Bad
guess. I wouldn't be proud of it. But
No one says cultures have to be good.
it would be nice if they were. I like Step Into the Bad Side too. Like every Jimmy song
Step
really,
Into the
really
Bad
sells.
Oh
Side.
yeah.
Step into the bad side. Gonna take a mean ride. The smile I had is gone away. Those that steal are gonna pay. Step into the bad side today. I tell you now, it's got to win. No more trusting them, my friend. Change our style, change our tone. Make the songs we sing our own. Step into the bad side.
I feel like Step Into the Bad Side is excellent. This is where the plot really picks up too, and this is, I mean, they step to the bad side. This is where Curtis realizes that the only way he's going to get up there is by pandering and bribing and cheating.
Killing all the sand people, not just the
Yeah.
men, but the women too.
Step into the bad side.
Someone had to make an AMV of Anakin Skywalker to step into the bad
into
side.
the bad side.
Killing all these children.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really don't want to focus on Jimmy alone, but Bree, you have to talk about, and I'm telling you, I'm not going. Effie's big Act 1 closer.
And I am telling you, I'm not going. Even though there are times I show, there's just no way, that's no way. We're part of the same place. We're part of the same time. We both share the same blood. We both have the same eye.
Oh my gosh. I mean, where do I even start? So this one is right as she gets kicked out of the band, and I don't know if we mentioned, but her and Curtis are
We're
in
a
a
thing.
are a thing. They're in a relationship. She sings like a love song to him prior to this.
Yeah.
And this is like her big number of like, I'm not going, like I'm not leaving this band, but I'm also like, I'm not leaving you. And unfortunately they kind of move on without her, but it's such a powerful number. I don't know. It left me speechless the first time I heard it. It's beautiful and I love it.
Anytime anyone performs this song, it is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Because I've heard the song thousands of times. I grew up in the Detroit area. I've heard the song sung so many times, and every time it knocks my ass to the floor, in some way or another.
Yeah. I mean, just this like story behind it of like, you know, someone moving on without you, the love of your life, like moving on, your dreams going on without you, and like you're just like there alone. Crushing.
And such a good cliffhanger for Act 1 of a musical to leave you wanting to
Yes.
come back.
Amazing Act 1 closer.
so much better than like, oh my God, is Dear Evan Hansen gonna get a girlfriend now? I don't know. That's kind of what the end of Act 1 of Evan Hansen is. Effie's got a lot of great moments in Act 1. She kind of leaves in Act 2. What is your favorite part? Because I feel like Act 1 is so good. You've got all these songs. Are there any really big numbers that hit you hard in Act 2?
I think Effie's comeback song, which
One
is
Night Only.
One Night Only.
Another song we get 2 versions of.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The only trouble is you really don't have the time. You've got one night only, that's all you have to spare. One night only, let's not pretend to care. I've got one night only, come on and get it on. One night only, we only have till dawn. We only have till dawn. One night only.
Though the disco version's not nearly as bad as the
Are they
white
saying
people
that?
version.
Nope, I'm not gonna say that one.
I don't even want to think about what you were about to say.
It wasn't bad, but it's like kind of like Curtis became the thing that he hated in Act 1 in a weird way.
Well, yeah, I mean that literally is what they're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He literally took their song, changed it to be more mass appeal, and then
Yeah. Not to mention he did him and Marty, right? Marty's his name?
The older guy, the Danny Glover character.
No, what is Effie's brother?
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't even think we really talked about him.
He's the songwriter. We brought him up a little bit, but not.
He's the
too much.
songwriter, and so he's been writing the Dreamgirl hits since the beginning, and it's him and Curtis part ways, and he writes this song One Night Only that he is like, Effie, this song is for you. Not to mention that he's Effie's brother.
Yeah.
So like, he hasn't seen his sister in 9 years. He's been working with the Dreamgirls. He made the decision to kind of cut her out of the band for, his success. And so he comes back and he's like, this is a song that only you can sing. And then for Curtis just to take it. It's a great song.
Yeah, it's truly, truly incredible. And it's just so heartbreaking when 1 step forward, 4 steps back. And that's Effie's entire existence in this story until the end.
Yeah. Another one I like is Beyonce's song. I think,
Listen?
It's Listen.
Oh, the time has come for my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside and turned into your own. All 'cause you won't listen. I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home. And I've tried to say what's on my mind. You should have known. Oh.
And it's like for the first time she's really like letting her own voice out, and it has that soul and that power.
Yeah.
That the same as Effie, the Beyonce we know.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if this was written especially for the movie. It looks like it is. Yep. This was specifically written for the movie for Beyonce's voice. And it's kind of the only Beyonce moment in the story, really.
Yeah.
And it does kind of feel out of place, but important. Like it feels very different than every other song in the movie. Like you can kind of point to it as the odd man out. And that doesn't make it bad, just makes it different.
Yeah. I think it helps kind of, I don't want to say like wrap up her character, but it gives more like of a character arc to her, who she kind of ends being.
I agree. It's important and it sounds great. It's very, very good. Beyonce's the best. The best of the best of the best.
She is.
And on that note, we never talked about the Dreamgirls, Dream of the Dream main theme. So let's just talk about that right here.
We are Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls will never leave you. No. And all you've got to do is dream, baby. We'll be there. Dream. Dreamgirls will help you through the night. Dream. Dreamgirls will make you feel alright. Dreamgirls keep you dreaming your whole life through. Your dream.
I played this song in band, and this part is the one that got stuck in my head, and it was all I thought about when I thought of Dreamgirls, so I kind of avoided watching it a little too long.
It is an earworm.
Didn't like playing the piano part of that. Yeah, what do you think of it, Andrew?
It's really catchy. There's not really much else to say. It's a song about the fact that they're the Dreamgirls.
Yeah, I wish more bands had songs like "We Are Thanks," "Thank You, You're Welcome," "Thanks."
Maybe we'll get on that. Maybe we can work on that.
Hell yeah. All right. On that note, what is our overall thoughts on Dreamgirls and our cheese rating? Brie, I'm gonna let you start.
Oh my gosh, I don't even have a cheese.
This is your musical. This is your choice.
Okay. Dreamgirls is wonderful. It has amazing songs in it, and I guarantee if you sit down to watch it that you will love it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I am just so thankful that you two got to see it and you both loved it. And I think I'm going to give this the best piece of New York style pizza.
Ooh. I'm
Not
surprised you didn't try Detroit style pizza because, you know.
No, pizza because cheese, and New York style because it's my favorite.
You like that thin fucking flavorless thing?
Okay, fine. Detroit style pizza.
I don't even like Detroit style pizza. I just think that New York style is the worst pizza.
Oh, I love New York style. Brooklyn
right.
style, amazing.
All right.
But I'm going to give it a piece of pizza. It could be New York. It could be, Buddies. Either way,
Ugh.
I'm happy.
Buddy sucks.
Jets.
You want canker sores? You want your mouth tore up by those fucking razor blade crust pieces?
No answer is a good answer here. I'm sad and I'm leaving.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to prolong it so you never have to leave. Andrew, what about you? What's your cheese rating?
I'm gonna give it Dream Cheese, which is something I found on a blog from 2013. I just want to read an excerpt from this because I think it's exceptionally funny. Dream Cheese. Today I'm making the world's most popular cheese, yogurt cheese. Never heard of it? That's no surprise.
Is that the attitude that you're gonna
Around
choose
the
that they
world,
wrote
it
with?
is the most universally loved cheese, but in North
Oh.
America, it is barely loved at all.
I guess we're not a part of the around the world, I guess.
Why is this cheese unknown in North America? Because we lack a home cheese-making culture.
Are they Canadian? Is that the reason why they keep saying North America?
I don't fucking know.
We're included in America now. Does it
Oh,
end
well.
with .ca?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's a .com.
All right, so that's a good cheese rating, Andrew. Crazy
Yeah.
website you found there. And your overall thoughts?
Oh, it's very good. Watch the movie because it's pretty accessible. But if a touring act or something comes near you, go see that. Or if you're in New York City and it's ever back on Broadway, which I doubt it, but check it out.
There was rumors of one coming right before the pandemic. So it's
maybe?
not unreasonable.
Maybe
It's not
It's good.
unreasonable.
it's good. I hope they take some of the stuff from the movie and put it in the new production. But
They have done that because there was a production after the movie, and I know that they put some things in there.
yeah,
So also another cool thing that I don't think any studio has done outside of this, when DreamWorks released this movie, they also got rid of the licensing fees for people to put on the show during that period. So kids could had hundreds of schools putting on Dreamgirls and performing this show without having to pay the rights, which I think is a brilliant marketing scheme about getting the voice out and getting people to see Dreamgirls and getting them excited both about the movie and the brand. But other people don't see it that way. Dumb. But yeah, that would be really cool if more movies did that. Wouldn't it be great if Matilda did that to line up with their film, where you could see the movie and then be like, oh, it's playing here at the fucking new whatever workshop. Let's go. Either way, I'm giving this Motown Philly cheesesteak and fries because it's really good. Motown and cheesesteak.
Love it.
Brie, it is
Yes.
your last episode.
It is.
We do have some farewells.
Oh.
And we say this is her last episode. We do have a little recording after this, so I'm trying not to get too worked up. Toriana Frazier, one of our patrons. Brie will be missed, but I'm sure you're going to do great with whatever comes next. You are amazing. Break a leg. Thumbs up emoji.
Stop. I'm going to start crying.
Thank you, Bree, for being the level head between two toddlers for so long.
Time for our show to go immediately back downhill to where it was before.
Gathering party before venturing forth said that one, and a lot of others voiced their like well wishes, send them again reviews. All of our usuals are basically the same, like, hey, good luck, Bree, we're gonna miss you. It's not gonna be the same show. And as you saw from our Bree Views game, the show did drastically change when you joined it. You have been such a constant presence on this that sincerely, I think we're going to have to change how we do this show once you leave, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. But you have left such an imprint, and I'm so grateful for you as a human being, a friend, and for jumping on this journey with us. I love you very much, Bree, and I say it at the end of every episode. You are the most incredible and wonderful producer a person could ask for, and I love you very, very much.
Stop. I love you too.
Oh no. I get why you have to go. I've seen it coming for a while, and it still shocked me when you finally sent me the message. I am gutted to my core, but also so excited for what's coming next for you, because you have the strength of all of us, Brie.
Thank you. I'm going to miss you guys so much, and I just can't wait to see what you do, because I literally wouldn't have anything to do if you guys weren't making awesome content. Like, I literally wouldn't have been able to
If it
do
weren't
anything.
for you guys, I'd be bored.
It's true.
You brightened up my pandemic so much by joining
Oh
the
my
show
God.
and changing it. The amount of time I got to spend with you, how happy I was, like during our Mamma Mia recordings, our Tony
Oh my
nights,
God.
and especially like our get together. We took photos and watched Grease and wrote on the Detroit Princess. All three of us together. That was a very special moment, and I'm grateful I got to spend it with both of you. Sincerely.
We even got
I-
to see Jimmy early on that riverboat.
Is she gonna marry the baby?
Oh
and-
God, I'm going to miss you guys. I hope that in the future we still we can work in some capacity
Oh,
together.
hell yeah! Like, and it, like, you'll come back as a guest anytime. You know that's an open door.
Oh my God, I know. I can't wait for Shrek 2 the musical to come out.
There will
We
be
can dream.
other
We can
things, I'm
dream.
sure. We can dream. So that being said, Bree, I want you to be able to say your own goodbye, because Andrew's not gonna say anything. I got a feeling like Andrew would just be like, "Nice, it was fun."
It was
Yeah.
funny, Andrew.
I don't have a speech prepared.
That's okay.
Just as
That's
the
okay. I will
speeches.
miss you.
I don't think Andrew,
It's okay. You don't
What?
have to say it back.
What did I say?
Nothing.
you didn't say anything. Bree was like, "I'll miss you," and you're like, "Yep, I'd miss
okay.
me too, bitch." Bree, is there anything you want to say to the audience right now as we wrap this up?
Thank you so much for everything. I mean, one, allowing me to come into this space and to edit the podcast and put my own twist on it. And to all of the patrons that I've met, I have enjoyed meeting each and every one of you and putting the face to the name that we read every week. And keep listening to these two goofy guys. They're gonna do great things. I know it.
And I know there's 3 FAQ questions that are going to come, so might as well answer them now in our Dreamgirls episode.
Okay.
Will Bree views still happen in the same form? What do you think, Bree?
I definitely think you should keep the segment alive.
I don't know. We named it after you.
But it
I
is
know
a cheese.
I guess. I'm not going to change it to whoever else. Okay. We'll keep reviews in honor of you. Not like you died or anything.
We're changing the
but-
spelling. It's gonna be now. It's spelled like the
B-R-I-E.
cheese, though.
Yeah, spell it like the cheese. You can change the name, but
Mhm.
you know, in the spirit of me, keep it alive.
Of course. Who will be editing the episodes now that Bree is leaving? We will now have 3 distinct 100-ish episodes of different like dynasties of this. The first was where I was editing it, and I think that happened
The
around
worst.
episode 100. The worst one, because I didn't know how to edit a podcast. I'm still convinced I don't know how to edit a podcast. So then with episode 101, Bree took over and has stuck around for over 100 episodes. Holy shit, that's incredible. You have edited more episodes than I have of the show. You have put your stamp on it.
Thank God.
And
When do we
now-
delete those old ones?
We just re-record new ones and then gaslight people. No, they always were like
Oh,
that.
they were always like that. Yeah, you don't remember that?
That would
Make
actually be a
episode-
very funny meme to do.
Make episode 101 just number 1.
Yeah, no, that was we didn't have any before that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we can finally talk about Sweeney Todd again. But Andrew DeWolf, our own podcaster extraordinaire, will be taking over the editing and mixing and all those duties, where it will be the Andrew dynasty. And Andrew has promised shit's gonna get real wacky real fast.
I'm gonna ruin the show. It's going to be epic.
So get ready for the ruination of Musicals with Cheese and our final form. Brie, thank you so much for your time. And to all of you listening, I think there's a list I usually read, but I don't really feel like doing it. I guess I have to. This show is brought to you by the extremely kind people at Patreon. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Musicals with Cheese, Twitter, Musicals with Cheese, Patreon, Musicals with Cheese, everything on Musicals with Cheese. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. Hello, Juliet.
Love you, Juliet.
Our theme songs were created by Robin Nash of IOU Music UK. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform. And this show, for the final time, is produced and edited by the one and only Brianna Jones. I love you so much, Brie.
I love you.
We'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese. Say goodbye, Brie.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
We're the Dreamgirls, dreaming the dream girls, making the
And
dreams.
I am telling you. Okay, I won't, but I
Go
want
on,
to.
Brie, end it. Do it.
I'm not going.
Oh no, she is though.
I'm not living without you. I don't want to be free.
No, 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 no.